good afternoon. So today I'm going to be talking about Gen Z's impact on ESG and why you should care about this. So how legitimate are carbon credits? And how environmentally friendly actually are electric vehicles? Do the benefits of wind and solar really outweigh the cons? Is nuclear really the end-all, be-all solution? And why do we persuade individuals to choose impact over slightly better profits? But more importantly, who cares about this? As a now 24-year-old and proud member of Generation Z, these are all questions I've wondered about and asked myself and others in hopes of finding an answer. Hi, my name's Sebastian Moreno, and I'm a current finance manager at Microsoft, based out of Redmond, Washington, a proud member of Gen Z, and a Chicago Blend Venture Fellow. So I want to start off by giving a brief introduction on how I gained interest in the climate tech space and what got me to this very point. My first introduction to the green tech space was a senior in high school. I wrote an essay about an up-and-coming EV company called Tesla that was driving my one share in E-Trade in a lot of value, and about how sustainability in buildings was to the benefit of everyone. This won me an environmental sciences and botany scholarship and introduced me to a topic that would follow me for the next 7 years of my life. After that, I went to school right down the street to DePaul University, where I studied finance and economics because I thought it would lead to a better future. After completing my internship on Microsoft's capital markets team, I ended up joining full-time on their corporate development team and partnered with their Climate Innovation Fund, a $1 billion investment to accelerate technology development and deployment of new climate innovations. It was during this time that I learned about my passion for early-stage investments. I think my slightly small level of undiagnosed ADHD and high curiosity led to my enjoyment of hearing about all these different backgrounds, founders, how they were working to solve different solutions, and what ideas they had that could make our society better off. It was shortly after this that I moved to London for work. That's that top corner picture right there. I took a weekend course over there at Oxford on social entrepreneurship. And I dived deeper into UN sustainability goals, which I later learned many VC firms actually use as benchmarks for investments that they make. More importantly, I came across the realization that I could both learn about how to solve some of the most pressing problems facing our society today and make a career out of being a venture capitalist. So for the first time in my life, I felt as though I had purpose. I was doing meaningful work that was making the world better off. And then when I came back to Chicago, I ended up finding about the Chicago Blend Ventures program, and I knew what I had to do. And that brings me to this moment right now, where long nights doing venture capital university, learning from my mentor VC firm, Evergreen, and various flights between Seattle's Tacoma International Airport and Chicago O'Hare led me to present my findings in the form of a talk. Look, I am Generation Z. Gen Z, Zoomer, we go by a lot of things. Gen Z is defined as a demographic cohort of people born between 1997 and 2012. Present day, Generation Z makes up 27% of the US population. Now we know what Gen Z is, but who is Gen Z? Look, I like avocado toast and overpriced coffee as much as the next guy, but there's more to it than that when it comes to Gen Z. So Gen Z has been shown to care more about the environment than prior generations. Did you know that climate change and global warming are Gen Z's #1 concern among different surveys taken? That's a CNBC article right here stating that exact fact. So Gen Z has been shown to have, one, higher levels of anxiety related to climate and environment than those who came before them. 71% of Gen Z finds that they're worried about their future and they're frightened, leading to many young consumers having similar thoughts. 90% of Gen Z said that they would make changes to their lifestyle in order to help have a more sustainable future. And Gen Z has a more comprehensive view of sustainability versus Generation X, which at times claims that sustainability is simply products made from recycled materials and naturally harvested fibers and materials. And that point stuck with me here, because Gen Z cares about sustainability and they're going to make their life revolve around it, whether it's more expensive or even if it seems more inconvenient at times. So $33 trillion, what does this represent? This is the financial impact that Gen Z is estimated to have, and that doesn't include inherited money. Gen Z or Zillennials' income is set to grow 400% over the next decade, and this cohort is made up of those individuals born after 1996. So here are some titles that are really relevant to this topic. 68% of Gen Z are eco-friendly shoppers, 36% of Gen Z have boycotted a brand within the last year. Gen Z is more willing than other generations to pay 50% or 100% more for sustainable products. 50% of Gen Z believes companies should take a stance on social issues. So I want you to specifically pay attention to that last point. If there's something that you take away from this presentation, it should be that Gen Z speaks their mind. They're vocal, they make their points heard, And when they align with something, they're going to make sure that they make a point about this. Now, how does this translate into what, let's be honest, most of us in the room care about? Monetary value. Well, this is going to impact venture capital in more ways than we realize it. So 65% of the capital in US venture capital market comes from public pension funds. Additionally, a recent article by Forbes showed that pension funds like CalPERS, one of the biggest in the country, are only increasing their investments in the venture capital space. Why does this matter? Well, you saw previously that this is a passionate generation, involved, and very vocal. Gen Z speaks out on green tech, and they care about where their money is invested. Our generation is picky, whether it be what kind of milk goes into our morning cup of joe or where our money is being invested. This is going to be the generation that speaks up and demands to know whether or not companies are invested and aligning in sustainable practices. So a recent World Economic Forum study shows that 75% of Gen Z places more of an emphasis on sustainability than 49% who prefer the product brand. This is the same reason we see broke college students paying $50 for a brand new reusable hydro flask instead of buying another more well-known brand water bottle. This is also the highest percentage of generation has cared about when it comes to sustainability, and the lowest percentage of generation has cared about when it comes to brands since the baby boomer generation. Additionally, another article by Forbes stated that Gen Z shoppers would be as willing to spend 10% more on sustainable products simply because of the impact it would have. Not only that, but interest in climate tech careers has spiked over the past couple of years, with an article by The Guardian quoting that college administrators say surging numbers of students are pursuing environmentally related degrees versus more traditional professions, such as business, medicine, or law. Gen Z is guided by their values and principles when it comes to purchase decisions. One startup that I'd love to introduce is Demi. Demi is a startup that is adhering to a lot of Gen Z values. Demi is a composting service provider that targets apartment complexes. They provide residents with containers that can be provided at drop-off lockers located on site and handle the entire composting management and collection process. I wanted to highlight this startup because I think compost will be that extra hot tub, gym, or tanning bed that Gen Z looks for in their next apartment. Current generations in Gen Z are swayed by things like this in order to move into a new apartment. And you can find more information on Demi at their website, demi.com. And lastly, I want to take some time to let you guys know, what the point of this talk is, right? Gen Z and climate tech are just one sector, one generation, and they're one group of people that think similarly. The next time you run into that new intern you just hired, consider talking to them about their perspective on different views and different startups. It may just be one of the best investment decisions that you make. If any of the topics I touch with you resonate with you, if you want to talk more on it, or if you disagree and want to correct me, my LinkedIn's right here. I'm available for a chat. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of you for coming, all of the Chicago Blend sponsors that make this possible, Joey, Sal, and my incredible cohort. Thank you.